Welcome to Jaguars Postgame, presented by Florida Home AC. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Jaguars great Fred Taylor will break down today's game with highlights and analysis. Jaguars Postgame is brought to you by Farah and Farah, Baptist Health, and by TIAA Bank. Jaguars Postgame, presented by Florida Home AC, starts right now.
Welcome in. It's Jaguars Postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Final score in Week 14, Titans 20, Jaguars nothing. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor is coming up. And as bad as it's been for the previous weeks, this one is, I think, worse than all of them. The Jaguars offense had a franchise low in the history of the franchise, 8 rushing yards today, and they were shut out for the first time since 2009. It's now their second 5-game losing skid of the season, and the Jags are down 2-11, Mike, and it's all around a bad day.
A very bad day. JP, was this game ever a blowout today? It wasn't a blowout, right?
No.
I mean, it was generally within 2 scores for a big portion of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jags threw it 40 times. They ran it 8. I mean, what are we doing here? 5-to-1 pass-to-run ratio for this football team. So clearly they tried to get Trevor Lawrence going, but he was having a bad day, throwing it to the other team. Not all of them. One of them was clearly the fault of Laviska Shenault, but Trevor did not have a good day. They didn't even attempt to establish the run today.
No.
Not even an attempt, not even a hint. And I get it. Maybe you wouldn't have had a whole lot of success. They weren't running for big chunks of yardage or anything like that, but that's something that you've got to stick with. You've got to stay with it. And as we talked about in the pregame, James Robinson had his most successful outing of the year against the same Tennessee Titans run defense early in the year. He got 6 carries today, 6 of the 8 that the Jaguars ultimately had. And that to me is the most mystifying thing.
Yeah, rough day around. And then on the defensive side, the defense was just out there for long, sustained scoring drives for Tennessee. A 10-play touchdown drive to open it. A 9-play missed field goal, 15-play field goal drive, and then they got a punt right before halftime. And then on the touchdown in the second half, an 11-play scoring drive again for Tennessee. So out there, couldn't get off the field in some key moments. But now when at the second half, as Lagerman pointed out a few times on the broadcast today, after those interceptions, quick changes and all that, well, the Jags defense held. They got 3 punts and a field goal and allowed, 22 yards total in those 4 possessions after the interceptions. So give them credit for that. If you had any offensive help at all, it might balance this out.
No, I think the defense, again, was fairly solid today. I mean, 20 points, and you're out there with the time of possession in favor of Tennessee like it was. 37 minutes is basically 3 seconds shy of 37 minutes in time of possession. And how about this for the penalties? Tennessee, 2 penalties for 15 yards. They did have the big pass interference that was offset by a hold by the Jags. The Jags had 9 penalties for 79 yards today. So in addition to not playing well, not picking up yards, not stopping Tennessee, they, key moments, 3rd and 5 defensively. They what did they have, an offside on that one early on in the game, converted the first down for Tennessee. Just continue to make silly mistakes. We had Dwan Smoot line up offsides on a play where he was dropping on his own blitz type situation. And I mean, what are we doing out here? It's a really, as they described on the broadcast, Jeff and Tony were talking about the bad news Bears. You hate to say that, but it really seems like they're a team that is not competitive right now.
Fred Taylor joining us on the phone line from South Florida. Good afternoon to you, Fred. But a similar result than what we've seen the last few weeks. I think this one is the worst of them all, though.
Hey, what's up, guys? Other than talking to you guys right now, let me in at this action. Ain't nothing else good about this afternoon, baby. I agree with Tony and Jeff. You hate to say it because you root for them and you're a Jaguar lifer, but this team is awful. The penalties, the undisciplined play, it just looks really bad. If you can't win on first down, which is what the struggles are. I charted the entire game on first. 3 first downs in the entire first half compared to Tennessee's 15. I didn't finish the end of the game stat. I have it here on my sheet. But I'm so frustrated and furious, man, I don't even want to look at it. It just upsets me I can't go around town anywhere and celebrate these guys. I mean, it's really bad for me. It's just a bad team, and, you know, it's top down for me. You know, the coaching staff, they got to coach better. The guys they got to come to play. I don't know if they're I don't want to say they're not being competitive, but the way they kind of carry themselves, it just seems like the energy isn't there. I don't know what it is, man. It's just horrible play out there right now.
Fred, we certainly had the stories from NFL Network's Tom Pelissero yesterday, the big story about how, there's a lot of dysfunction in this organization, and sometimes that can be a rallying point, right? Sometimes the team can try to shut out the outside noise and circle the wagon, so to speak. That clearly did not happen today.
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of it, man. You go through a lot. You hear a lot of stuff at home, your relatives. When you go out in the street, in the public, people are going to talk. You're going to hear whispers. The one thing I can tell you I learned at the end of my career from Coach Belichick, when you walk in the building, there he has a sign on the door. You come in, do your job, sense of urgency, all that beautiful stuff. When you leave the building, it tells you what to do when you're outside the building. And the number one thing on the door is, one, you don't believe the hype, and tune out the noise. Because 1 minute they're telling you you're good, and the next minute they're telling you bad. You got to figure out which side you want to be on. But if you just do yourself a favor and just realize you're coming in for one thing, and that's to do your job, not worry about anything else, it'll all sort itself out. When you're a bad team, the press is going to come across worse. It's going to come across bad. And they're going to search for things because you're an easy target. I don't know what's going on there, but I can tell you this. The things I'm hearing, it doesn't sound good, and I don't know what's going to happen, but these guys got to find a way to put it together because right now it's awful.
We'll take our first time out. We're waiting the first word after the game with head coach Urban Meyer. Final score 20-0. Titans over the Jaguars, and it's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Are your heating and cooling costs extremely high? Do you want to extend the lifespan of your heating and cooling system investment? If so, Florida Home Air Conditioning is ready to help you save some money. Schedule your annual AC or heating system tune-up today with Florida Home Air Conditioning for only $59. Florida Home Air Conditioning, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 855-FLA-HOME.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class health care. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
After a major storm, you can count on JEA to safely restore power as quickly as possible. During Phase 1, we restore power to critical infrastructure, hospitals, shelters, and police and fire stations. In Phase 2, we put all our resources into restoring power to neighborhoods and businesses. And during Phase 3, we won't stop until every outage is resolved. Because when the community you serve is home, there's more than power on the line. Learn more at DoMore with JEA.com. JEA, building a more resilient community.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars postgame. Final score 20-0. Titans over the Jaguars. The first shutout of the Jags since 2009. Jags lost in Seattle that year. 41-0 was the score that day. About half that today, but still a big goose egg on the other side. And the fewest rushing yards in a single game in franchise history today. Only 8 yards on the ground. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Fred Taylor. And the Jaguars fall to 2-11. And all that stuff, Fred, is we're getting to all-time territory now in some of these losses when you start talking about, 12 years ago, the last shutout and lowest rushing yards. And, I mean, I'm sure there are others. We haven't just dug that deep yet.
Right. I mean, records going to be made where you look at them in a positive light. They're also going to be made when they come across as negative. That's just a testament to where the franchise has been and where it's, in the immediate interim now where it's headed. What we saw today, none of it was good. How we started the game, first play of the game was a -9 yard sack, and then you go get through the first half, right? And then you come out again to start the second half with after 5 plays, there's a tip ball interception right there. So all these things are just piling on and adding up. And what I pray and hope doesn't happen is the confidence of that young quarterback who I believe he has the best arm of any quarterback that we've ever seen in Jacksonville. He has to get it together. He has to find a way to make sure his confidence doesn't suffer. And he has to make sure he continue to be the leader that he always was, and hopefully the one that we had hoped he could, his potential to grow into, because we're going to need it. That's what I hope, that his confidence level doesn't, go down with what's going on around here.
And Fred, up until now, it seems like it hasn't, right? Every time you hear Trevor Lawrence speak, you're like, okay, he seems like he gets it. Nothing's too big for him. Today, he threw some bad interceptions, I thought. And, beyond just the confidence, what can the Jaguars do? I know we ask this question every week, but I don't know if you have any new ideas. What can they do to get some successful plays rolling to help him build that confidence when nothing's really working offensively right now?
Well, you heard the guys on the broadcast, I believe, with Feely. He's talked about play calling creativity or the lack of, as well as tendencies. James Robinson getting a certain percentage of his carries when they're under center, and not as many when they're in the gun. So defenses, all these coaches, they get paid. They have interns. They have people in the building that chart this data, and they know when. Look, we're going to go heavy run defense here. I saw a few occasions throughout the game, Mike, where they had 8 guys in the box and they were blitzing left and right because they want to rattle the rookie quarterback. Not only that, they don't trust the Jaguars' passing game, so they're going to disrespect you that every single play. And, they're just going to make it tough on you. But the coaches got to counter those things. This is what our tendencies have been the entire year. This is what's on film. Let's go total opposite. Let's just, completely just try and change our tendencies. So there's a way. They just got to get in their books, man, what they get paid to do and make it happen.
Fred Taylor with us, JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey here in Jacksonville. Final score 20-0. The Titans over the Jaguars. We're awaiting the first word after the game with head coach Urban Meyer from Nashville, Tennessee. Fred, the one positive, if you want to look at it this way, was the defensive play today after those quick changes in the second half. This could have easily kind of gotten out of whack. It was already out of whack anyway, I get that. But, of the 4 interceptions, they gave up 22 yards total on those 4 possessions and only a field goal instead of letting this thing really get blown out of the water. So if there's any offense at all, then maybe it's a football game. So, yes, there were some long scoring drives early in the game for Tennessee where they couldn't get off the field. But when they needed to, at least too late, they stopped them after those quick changes.
JP, I agree with you on that. The defense they did pretty good. You can't expect them to make all those stops the entire game if the offense isn't bringing anything to the table. They share those responsibilities, get stops, put up points. I can tell you, after looking at this, the 2 Titans touchdowns were also what contributed to those were both 15-yard penalties by Wingard. You know, he has to make sure that he, you know, doesn't hit the quarterback, get a roughing call there. And on the screenplay, he has to stay high and not go low. So he had those. You add those 15 yards on, which possibly could have been a stop, you know, or even a field goal. And the kicker, he had some accuracy issues, you know, throughout this season. So just a combination of things, man. But the defense, I guess they are the positive light in this entire game today.
Well, and Fred, you point out those penalties that either extend drives or set up Tennessee with good scoring opportunities. I mean, this has been an ongoing issue with this football team, but this is one thing that
What do you say in the locker room after a loss like this?
You said, what do you say? Man, it's kind of hard to find the words, but it's not like I'm going to tell them to give up. You know, my main thing is being the leader that I am. We got to keep fighting. You know, it doesn't matter the outcome, circumstances, you got to. I said the main thing, me coming back, we're not going to lay down for nobody. So it's back to the drawing board. You know, each week, you know, we got to figure out something, how to get better at something. So that's the part we're going to figure out. We're going to take this 24 hours, figure out what happened, adjust. And we got to make some arrangement, make this stuff work, get this stuff clicking and get us going. So we're going to figure it out.
How hard is it to do that when it seems like there's reports about Urban Meyer and yelling at assistants and yelling at Marvin Jones seeming like once a week, something like that? You know?
Well, my main focus is focusing on the players, focusing on the game, focusing on each practice, and trying to play my best ball I can play. You know, besides everything outside of it, I can't control the controllable. So my main thing is I do my all for these players. I make sure they're good. I make sure I can do my best so they can count on me. And I focus on getting these guys started, get these guys going, bringing the energy. That's the part I can control. So in the locker room, that's what I do. So.
Does Urban still have the locker room support?
Oh, for sure. You know, as a coach, you know, there's no way we can go between each other. It's tough. You know, it's hard to do that. So my main thing is whatever we got to figure out as a group, get on the same page. As grown men, we have to figure that part out. And we will. You know, there's no one pointing fingers. There's no, okay, we're against the coaches. It's nothing of that. We're grown men. We have to have grown man conversation and figure out how to get on the same page with each other so we don't have, you know, these stories or whatever it is that's going on coming out.
Was Urban the only one who talked in the locker room post-game?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Was Urban the only one who talked in the locker room post-game?
Yeah, we kind of gotten straight to our prayer. We kind of already been through, you know, this scenario, so it's no real speech you can give. But the main thing is what I do after, if I'm not speaking up right then and there, I walk around the locker room. I have no problem taking the time talking to each guy one by one. But I got to keep everybody in it. I got to keep their focus. Man, just keep going. Keep going. So what you going to do about it? You can't get the 4 picks back. Keep going. You got to believe in something. And whatever it is, man, it's going to turn around. But if you give up now, then this is rookie year. You can't give up now. You can't. And whatever's going on this year, you got to reevaluate yourself. Figure out what you got to do to get better. Learn how to take criticism. Learn how to take, you know, certain pointers that works for you, and whatever doesn't, get rid of it. And as a young man, you have to learn that.
You look captain. What is your biggest challenge when you said that earlier this week about making sure players don't give up? And just, I mean, they didn't look like they gave up. It just looked like they just couldn't find the answers to stop that team. I mean, how do you go about being a leader and get through these 4 weeks on what you guys are doing? I mean, what's your challenge?
My challenge is continue to get the guys to continue to believe and not give up. That's the only part I can do. When you're talking about the offensive side of the ball and I'm trying to figure out whatever it is I need to figure out, it's not my job to try to figure that part because I got to do my best at my position and letting the guys know they can count on me to make sure I can do right. You know, it's tough to try to, okay, coach the cornerbacks, coach the safeties, the linebackers, the D-line, then go on the offensive side of the ball and try to coach those guys. They got to figure it out. But like I said, we're grown men. That's our job. We have to be able to adapt. We have to adjust. So as grown men, we're going to fix it. And, you know, and what I can tell you to the offense is we're going to figure it out. The only thing about it, we believe in this offense, and we're going to figure something out. We're going to get this done.
Jack, what is the challenge of not getting frustrated, not pressing defensively and trying to be perfect when the offense has been so awful now for 6-7 weeks for you guys?
Sure, the main thing I tell the defense is focus on defense. Focus on you. Because one thing about it, whatever you do, it's going to be on tape. And I refuse to let my emotions run me because of what's going on outside of defense, and then I go out there and mess up. I can't do that. I won't do that. And the defense has been doing a phenomenal job of focusing on the defense. We can be a top defense that's focused on being a top defense. Whatever we can do, like if it's a turnover, I don't care, sudden change, we focus on the defense. I don't care where you put that ball at, we got to fight. They can get the ball on the 2-yard line, we have to fight. And that's what the defense has been doing. So I take my hat off to those guys because it's tough for anybody. It's tough to just focus on what's going on because you're watching the game too. We're sitting there watching the game as well. But we focus on us.
You've had the right approach and attitude all year. Are you convinced that everybody in there has the same mindset as you?
Majority, if not all. I'm still, like I said, there's no reason for me to say this, for me not to continue to do it until I get everybody on the same page. But majority is on the right track, and that's where it starts. You know, you start to learn. You know, I told you before this game even started, we're going to start to figure out the ones who truly love football, who truly love this game, and that's the part that we're figuring out. So when I say majority is on the right track, got the same mindset, but I got to get everybody. I need full 100% support, and I'm going to continue to do that. I don't care how tough it is because somebody has to do it. So I'm fine with taking that upon myself to make this happen.
Thanks, Jack.
Appreciate you guys.
Same way, what do you make of the interception?
Of course, I think, one was a tip ball. One was they dropped a guy underneath when he was getting pressured. One, he tried to launch it down the field, and, you expect our wideout to go up and challenge the ball. We didn't do that. And then the last one was, he tried to hit a tight window and have a pick. So those are all growing pains. He's fighting through it. He's a fighter. I expect him to come back and do his best to beat Houston.
Urban, a final thought here. A lot of noise in the system this week. Where's the confidence level in the locker room itself, and what can you do as the head coach to salvage something down the stretch here?
Well, you go back to work. This is a situation that you have to really dig deep in your heart. You have to dig deep. I see a group of defensive players. I mean, it was unbelievable, the attitude and guys flying around on defense. Even sudden changes, went out there and stopped people. We're sacking the quarterback. We're playing with high energy. And then you see the other side of the ball, we're not. So all focus has got to get some consistency and some energy and confidence on offense and, go play together and go win a game.
Urban, thanks for the time.
Yep.
Head coach Urban Meyer joining us from Nissan Stadium in Nashville. We're back in a moment. More with Fred Taylor ahead. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, 20-0 the final score. Titans over the Jaguars in Week 14. And it's Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
What do you got?
What are your thoughts about the game today?
Awful. Just appreciated the fact that had some guys play their tails off. I mean, like really play their tails off. But the game of football will always be about complementary football, and that's offense, defense working together, and obviously special teams. And when that happens, you win games. And we're not doing that right now. The best defense is sustain drives, first downs, and obviously score points, and that didn't happen today. Defense gave up a couple drives, but they're on the field far too long. I was very appreciative of the fact that they were swinging as hard as they possibly could in that second half. Even sudden changes, they were out there sacking the quarterback, stopping the run, and I know we gave up a few points, but they were on the field far too long.
What do you say to Trevor after 4 interceptions and no points?
Yeah, it's tough. I grabbed him a little bit. I'm going to grab him again here in a minute. It's tough. It's growing pains, and, to say that's all on Trevor, of course not. When you run the ball 8 times for 8 yards or something like that, that's losing sucks. That's all I can tell you. And it eats away at your soul, and you got to regroup. I keep bragging about the locker room because there is a great locker room in there. Guys fighting, the guys who want to win. There's no pointing fingers. I've seen that before, not very often in my lifetime, but I've seen it. There's none of that. But we just have to play better and go beat Houston next week.
How much regression do you see? Regression. How much is just the offense regressing, not even taking a step forward, but also?
Yeah, that's what was so disappointing. I went back and getting ready for this game. I mean, you look at the trajectory of that offense. Phoenix Cardinal or Arizona Cardinals. You got the Titans, the Miami, you saw some really, really positive things. We started off slow with some interceptions. I'm talking about the beginning of the season. And I actually spent a lot of time with our defense because I thought, that's where we're going to transition from a little bit more man to zone, because I was very pleased with the offense, the way it was moving forward. And then after the bye week, it's been a weekly struggle. And, what is the issue? If it was one issue, you'd fix the one issue. I think it starts with the inability to consistently run the ball and be a run, play, action offense. And when the last week against where we played last week,
Rams.
Yeah, Rams. We're not getting the movement. We're not running the ball very effectively. And then today was, just couldn't run the ball.
On the Tannehill touchdown run in the third quarter, it looked like you were trying to maybe get a timeout. Can you take us through sort of what?
Yeah, we misaligned on defense, and right at the last second, and you can't get timeout like that.
There have been reports in the last 24 hours about dysfunction on the team, you having an incident with Marvin Jones, you having some acrimony with the assistant coaches, saying in one instance that they were losers, because their resume didn't have any, championship or winning season, whatever. Can you at least address that and whether it's accurate?
Yeah, calling someone a loser, that's inaccurate. I have high expectations for our coaches. I very demanding of our coaches, and expect guys to be held accountable for their positions. And at times when they're not, we address it. But I assure you there is not, whatever report, Amy told me something about that, that's nonsense. And then the other, Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones had a conversation because he came to me and said that there was something in the media. And I said, what's that? And because I didn't read it, and he said that people are blaming the receivers for all the issues on offense. And I went back and I looked at it, and it was about, I think I said something like we have some injury issues and some lack of consistency. When we talked about that, he's great. We moved on, and, he just, one thing about Marvin, and there's a lot of players, especially these, professional veterans, there's a lot of pride. Some guys aren't used to this, and he's one of them. But he's fantastic, and we have a fantastic relationship, and I started hearing that. And Marvin, he looked at me. He walked by yesterday when I saw something on TV. I was like, heated argument, and he goes, I guess we're not allowed to talk anymore, are we, or something like that. Started laughing about it. So nothing.
No yelling back and forth.
So he didn't leave practice?
No.
When you have those kind of reports, you start getting concerned a little bit about losing the locker room, leaks coming out. I mean, it's obviously somebody's sharing that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Once again, most of this is fairly new to me. Am I worried about losing the locker room? I always am worried about losing the locker room when you're 2 and whatever we are. But then I see what I saw, and I see the guys play as hard as they possibly can. I challenge our coaches, I challenge our players, and I challenge myself.
Andrew Norwell had 3 holding penalties today. Did you ever consider taking him out of the game and putting Will Richardson or somebody else in for Andrew?
There was some conversation there. Obviously, we didn't make that decision.
Have you talked to Shad Khan? Do you have any sense of this is all going to be okay? We're going to a vote of confidence or anything going forward?
I talk to Shad all the time. He's been fantastic since the day I've been here, and we're going to do the best we can to win games. That's our job.
What about this week, amid all of this, whether right, wrong, indifferent? Have you talked to him like last night or the night before, today?
Yeah, I talked to him last night, talked to him today. Our focus is to finish the season strong and make whatever adjustments we have to make to get this thing cooking.
Do you still have confidence that you can win at this level in the NFL?
Yeah, I do. Certainly. Me personally, me? Yeah. It hasn't exactly materialized the way I expected to have the experience of winning games. I knew that this was somewhat of a build, but I also really believe that we have plenty of good enough players to go win games. I still believe that. That's why I get so disappointed sometimes with our coaching staff and with myself, because I think we can do better than we're doing. Really disappointed.
You've been telling us all year that you have faith in that offensive line. They're getting their ass kicked every week. Like, what's going on there? They're getting paid a lot of money to be better than what they've been.
Yeah.
Do you have a contentious relationship? I mean, you were hard on your assistant coaches, but is there anything other than
I'm hard on them.
attention?
I'm honest with it. See, when people say that, that's like, I've done this a long time, and I'm very demanding and honest with coaches. You know, if we're struggling, let's get this thing fixed. Why? You know, I'm not a big blame player guy. When something's going wrong and I hear a coach or someone say, well, I told him to do it, that's not the coaching tree I grew up in. What are we doing to put that position in, that player in position to have success? So when you say hard, I'm very transparent, very honest with coaches, and have extremely high expectations with staff. And I've done that for as long as I've been a head coach.
But for guys that haven't coached with you before, is that a shock to them, or is it taking an adjustment for them? Is there any tension with you and some of those guys because they've not dealt with this before?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's, you know, whatever coaching trees people are from. You know, once again, I don't believe in saying, you know, that player's not good enough. That's something that in my entire years, when I hear that, so that's not the player. Don't put this on the player. Why are we not putting them in position to be successful? That's why I've always approached it. That's the way I grew up in coaching.
You've been around this long enough. You've heard noise before, but how tough is that to navigate when you're doing 11? All these storylines that
this week for some reason was a week of storyline, and then, you know, like I said, one was like I had an argument with Marvin Jones, and then once again Amy told me, I was like, what argument? And then Marvin and I talked about it. The other one was he called something about a coach, you know, on our staff is seeping things out. That's a new one to me too. I've not been in that conversation where, you know, there's whatever happens in the staff room, if something starts leaking out, that's the first. So those are all things we have to address and find out what's going on.
The psyche, though, the psyche of everything. I mean, is that a hard thing to navigate for those guys? For you, you have to talk about that stuff. Like, right?
Say that again.
You have to navigate all those kind of things outside of just fixing the on the field stuff. How is that?
Yeah, there's no. I mean, until that this just happened yesterday when I started hearing stuff. So no, I mean, we'll address it on Monday, and you know, the reality is that losing sucks. Losing tears you apart. Losing, especially people with pride and people that work their butts off. Man, we just got to stick together and keep going.
Is that what you tell Shad? Is that what you told Shad in your meeting, Shad Khan?
What's that?
About that losing sucks and we just got to stick together and we're going to get this thing turned around?
Yeah, I assured him that I still believe in my heart we will. How fast? You know, that depends on, once again, I still think there's good pieces. You watched what you watched out there today. Miles Jack and that defense and some of those kids, Roy, Smoot. I mean, those guys are playing their tails off. You get a couple scores on offense, you're right there, and we didn't do it. So what's the answer? Start leaking information or some nonsense? No, that's nonsense. That's garbage. That's, you know, that's, once again, I've been very blessed. I've not really dealt with that. I've not dealt with, well, did you hear what he said? What? No, let's improve on offense and get our quarterback in a position to be successful. That's our focus. What someone's brother said or someone said, that will occupy very little of my time. And if there is a source, that source is unemployed. I mean, within seconds, if there's some source that's doing it.
You ever been shut out?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, sir.
He's going to run it into the end zone for the touchdown. Ryan Tannehill, a 5-yard touchdown run, has extended the lead for Tennessee.
17-0 at that point. Jaguars trying to press a little bit now. Trevor Lawrence pushing the ball down the field. Brown with the interception.
Dropping his Trevor. Fires it. That ball is picked off. He threw it off his back foot, and the ball is intercepted in the middle of the field. Jayon Brown, the linebacker, caught it. Trevor threw it off his back foot, and it is picked off by the Titans.
Jags defense forces a punt. Jags offense back out there. 3 plays later, another pick.
Jackson, their own 31, dropping the throw. Looking is Trevor. Got some time, scrambling to his left. Now he can run it if he wants to. Instead, he fires it deep downfield. That ball is going to be intercepted. It is picked off by Christian Fulton. Jadon Mickens was deep downfield, but Fulton retreated and picked off Trevor Lawrence for the third time today.
Jags defense forces a 3-and-out, though, this time, and only allowed 2 yards. The Jaguars got a 4th down conversion, then had to punt after a 20-yard sack on 3rd and 4. Had to punt it away. Jags defense forces a punt again. Jags back on offense. Second play, Buster screen with an interception. Trevor's 4th of the day.
2nd down and long. Dropping is Trevor. Dropping. Fires middle of the field, and that ball is picked off. The 4th interception of the day for Trevor Lawrence. Buster screen has it. He picked it off in the middle of the field and ran it back to the 15-yard line of Jacksonville.
Well, Bullock hit a 29-yard field goal off of that interception, 20-0. That's how it sounded today. All Titans, all day. Jags offense couldn't do anything at all. 4 interceptions in the second half for Trevor Lawrence. The Jags had 8 rushing yards. We're back in just a moment with the TIAA Bank Stats Check. You've heard many of them already.
Yes, you have.
There aren't many for the Jags, unfortunately. This is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Shopping Publix with delivery and curbside pickup powered by Instacart makes getting your groceries more convenient than ever. It's basically the best thing since sliced bread, which you can order from the Publix bakery. You can also get fresh meats and cheeses from the deli, delicious produce, and Publix premium ice cream, all without having to leave your couch or car. Orders are available in as little as 2 hours. Prices vary from in-store. Fees, tips, and taxes may apply. Subject to terms and availability. Visit Publix.com/shop. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Scoring a touchdown on your own? Nearly impossible. But with the power of human connections, the world might as well be your end zone. At Ring Central, our winning lineup is simple: message, video, and phone, all together on a platform built to run and grow your business. Because when everyone can communicate and collaborate, it's not just magic, it's a winning strategy. Discover what we could do for your team. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central, message, video, phone, together.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Final score 20-0. Titans over the Jaguars in Week 14. The Jags have now dropped 5 straight. Second 5-game losing skid of the season for the Jags. They're 2-11 for the year. They will face off against the 2-11 Texans next week here at TIAA Bank Field. And let's get the TIAA Bank stats check. TIAA Bank turned potential into progress. Team stats. Yeah. First downs today. Tennessee 22. Jaguars had 9. Total yardage. Tennessee 263. Jacksonville 192. Third down conversions. The Jaguars were 5 of 13. Tennessee 6 of 15. Rushing yardage. Cover your ears, Fred. 8 rushing yards for the Jaguars, a franchise low. Tennessee had 102 yards on the ground. Passing net yardage, 184 for the Jags, 161 for Tennessee. Penalties, lots of them. 9 for 79 yards against the Jaguars today, 2 for 15 yards against the Titans. The Jaguars had all 4 turnovers in the game, 4 interceptions of Trevor Lawrence in the second half of the game. Time of possession heavily in favor of Tennessee. They held the ball for 36 minutes, 57 seconds. today, Mike.
All right, individually, guess what? Not going to be any better.
Nope.
Trevor Lawrence, 24 out of 40, 221, the 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. Remember, his quarterback rating at the half was in the 90s because he had completed 10 out of 12 passes. Those 4 interceptions helped bring it down to 35.5. Meanwhile, Ryan Tannehill, 20 of 31, 191 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, QB rating in the low 80s. On the ground, well, I mean, James Robinson, 6 carries for 4 yards. That tells the story. Average 0.7 yards per carry today, and doubled up Carlos Hyde, 4-2 among running back yardage today. Deontay Foreman, 47 yards on 13 carries for Tennessee with a touchdown. Tannehill also ran for a score with 29 rushing yards. Receiving-wise, Marvin Jones caught 6 for 70, 4 for 68 for Laquan Treadwell, 4 catches each for Laviska Shenault and James O'Shaughnessy, totaling 55 yards between them for the Titans through the air. Former Jaguar Jeff Swaim led the way with 3 catches for 45 yards. Defensively, for the Jags, Damian Wilson had the big game today with 10 total tackles, 6 solos, including a sack, para tackle for losses. Sacks go to Roy Robertson-Harris in this game and Dwan Smoot. Jihad Ward got one as well. So 4 total sacks for the Jaguars on the day. That's what you got, JP.
Yeah, it ain't pretty, Fred. And by the way, Fred, some reporting after the game, Urban Meyer speaking with the media after he spoke with us here on Jaguars Postgame. Urban said that he has spoken with Shad Khan multiple times and said that he talks to Shad all the time. He's been fantastic since he's been here. Said he talked to him last night, talked to him again today, and the focus is to finish the season strong. That's from Urban Meyer after the game today. But a performance like today, Fred, just doesn't give you a lot of juice moving ahead to this game against the Texans next week. That's the scary part.
No, it doesn't. You know, it's good to have that re-encouraging voice from the ownership. You know, you don't want to coach timid. So Coach Meyer has to stay the course and try his best. You know, he has to channel out the noise. I'm sure he's heard every single thing in the book, especially in the past few weeks here. So he has to, practice what he preached as a man, more so than a coach. You know, he made a commitment. You know, he tells the fans in Jacksonville, look, Jacksonville, we're working on it. You know, we're going to do our best for you. At the moment, it doesn't look like you're doing your best, but you got to keep chopping away, right, and try and make something happen. So this season is in the bag. You're officially eliminated from the playoffs. Again, as I mentioned in the pregame, we talk about the evaluation. James Robinson had a very solid introductory season as an undrafted rookie, and everyone got excited about that on a bad team. I think James is a good player. He's one of the better players on this roster right now. But you have to evaluate every single position in order to right this ship. I had to say that again just in case everyone thought I was still on the rage. But he just has to stay committed, man, and the talk is going to have to translate to win on the field before the Duval faithful starts asking Mr. Khan to get rid of.
Fred, with a month to go, as you look at the players on this offense, including the linemen, other than Trevor Lawrence, who do you think are parts of the solution going forward beyond this year? Like, who are the guys that you feel are part of the core of this team?
The core of the team, we got to keep guys got to stay healthy. That's one part of it. So it certainly starts in the trenches. The defense is playing okay. They can add a piece or two here and there, and good God, we don't know what can happen over there. But they're playing okay, right? From an offensive standpoint, I think our tackles can play better. Obviously, they're going to have to. They don't just stand out each and every week. They're not dominant guys, but they're just guys. And everyone, I think, across the offensive line front, at some point can be replaced. That's just my opinion. I don't evaluate them enough to really hold that statement, at 100%. But just from what I'm seeing from the games, I think some of those guys can be replaced at any given point in time, because that's where the struggles are. You want to make sure you can run the ball. Even again, looking at the running back position, James is good. Is he as dynamic as they would like? Will Etienne come back healthy next year, and be the guy that they're looking, or that they had hoped he would be this year? But they have to certainly light up the guys on the offensive side, and maybe add a guy or two to the defensive scheme of things, and hopefully that'll be the answer.
We'll come back in a moment and get the player of the game voting from the Jaguars Radio Network.
I'm not voting.
You're out. You're abstaining. Fred is abstained.
I got one today.
Okay.
Who's not the punter?
Okay. Is that a step in the right direction? I don't know.
Baby step.
It was not ideal today. Let's put it that way. 20-0 the final score. Plenty ahead. It's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG, too. Former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
It's been around longer than your quarterback. When you put it on, everyone knows it's game time. So legendary, it deserves its own Hall of Fame. Members-only jackets, undeniable quality and style for over 45 years. Scratch and claw your way over to membersonly.com. Get ready for football season with a jacket that can only be summed up in one word: iconic. Use discount code Jaguars at checkout for 35% off on all iconic racer jackets. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
How far should we go?
I mean, if you want the day off, we'll give you the day off.
Oh, man, you guys aren't that nice.
Oh, yeah, I am. Mark is. Fred said we should all just give him a hug when he walks in.
You guys are too kind. Oh. What you guys got?
Trevor, could you just talk about unfortunately, the disaster that today was, particularly for the offense?
Yeah, I feel like I, come up here and, say the same things, and you got to keep it positive. And the one thing is, I think we got some guys in that room. We got enough guys to make it work, and we're just not playing well. And that's something that you see on tape. Everyone that watches the game, they see. I thought to start the game, obviously we didn't put any points on the board, but we were moving the ball. We were really good on third down. I thought we had a really good plan. I felt dialed in, felt like I was seeing it well, especially in the first half. Obviously, the one interception off 2 live, the guy was in the right spot, caught the ball. Like, that's tough. It's just a play that bounced their way. And then from there, it kind of seemed to go downhill. So, I'm frustrated the way I finished. Obviously, towards the end of the game, that last interception, I think that was definitely the worst one as far as decisions. And I'm frustrated in that. Can't give them the ball again, even if the game's probably already away from us. You got to take care of it and put a drive together and feel good about where you're at. And I didn't do that. I got a little careless with the ball on that throw. So we definitely want that one back. And then Tennessee had a good plan. They had some cover zero looks that were different. The second interception, we had Tavon on a route inside, and he beat his man, but then the linebacker dropped out underneath it right as I threw it, and they brought more guys than we could block. So that's a tough one. Obviously, chalk that up on me. Pre-snap, I didn't like the look, and I was behind the clock, and I wanted to check it, and I just should have called a timeout, and I rushed myself into that one. So hindsight, obviously, wish I would have called the timeout and get us in a better situation. But, yeah, like I said, I think that last one definitely was the one that annoys me the most, for sure, because just careless with the ball. But, yeah, offensively, obviously, we gotta run the ball better. That starts in this league. If you can't run the ball, it's tough, and today we didn't. And I know we got the guys to do it. We got a great running back, a couple great running backs, great O-line, and we've shown we've done it earlier in the year. So whatever that piece is to get that back going, we got to find it, and we're going to go back to work this week and figure it out. But that's something that you got to be able to do, and didn't do it today. Obviously, we had a couple calls that killed some momentum. I have to look at it. I'm not saying they were bad calls, but just you look at it. We hit a big play and there's a holding call, brings it back. So we gotta be more. We gotta be better with penalties, like we've said earlier in the year as well. And then for me, I just gotta finish better. Got to keep playing. Like I said, I felt really good at the beginning of the game. I thought we were doing a good job taking what the defense was giving us. Felt like we were on all of our assignments, and just got away from us in the end. And I didn't think we played a full game at all. Obviously, you can tell that, but we got to help our defense. They kept us in the game, gave us plenty of chances, and we didn't do anything with it. So a lot of things to correct, and you got to take it one thing at a time. And like I said, I always say, I got to watch the tape and see where that starts. But it obviously starts with me being the quarterback, and I got to accept all the blame for what I did. Like, I didn't play well, didn't put us in good situations. So I take that on the chin, and we're going to keep getting better and keep going to work. That's all there is to do. Season's not over yet. We got to keep building, keep playing, try to build some confidence towards the end of this season. So yeah, long-winded, but
Trevor,
get it all out there.
There seemed to be a more conscious effort on either on your part or on Daryl's part to throw some deep balls today. There was one sequence in one series where you had 3 of them, and then there was the one on the interception where you had to throw across your body, and you probably tried to put as much on as you could to get the Jadon down the field.
Yeah.
But could you just talk a little bit about, did you feel like that was going to happen today, that you were going to maybe have to go downfield more?
Yeah, that was an emphasis we had, and I thought we had a really good plan to attack them down the field. And like I said, you look at I missed one. I overthrew it by a yard or two to Tavon on 3rd down. That was one we could have hit. And then the go to Marvin that he caught on the sideline that got brought back for holding, hit that one. Then I think the next play threw the one to Laquan on the right side. He makes a great catch. Just giving those guys a shot downfield. They did a great job. So those were 2 really that we hit. One of them got brought back. And then the scramble, like you were talking about, it's 3rd and 10. Late in the game, we need to get something going. I trying to make a play, and Jadon did a good job working back and just trying to give him a chance to go make a play. And it ended up being like a long punt, I guess, on 3rd and 10. But obviously, you don't want to turn the ball over and then throw. I guess that would be my 3rd pick in that in the game. So I don't like, maybe in hindsight, just try to scramble, get 4 or 5, put us in 4th and 4, and you have a chance to go for it and dial up whatever play you want. Gives you a better shot, but. Not in my mind, just trying to give him a shot to make a play.
How hard is it to kind of focus and keep things, I guess, headed forward when there's these reports about Urban and, yelling at Marvin and calling assistant coaches losers? How do you focus with all that stuff coming at you the day before a game?
Yeah, it's that's not a part of my job to worry about that. I play football. Guys in this locker room have done a great job of staying focused, and I hate to even say that when we play like that because it doesn't look like it, but really, we got a great locker room and everyone stayed together and stayed focused, and we're all just doing everything we can to go try to win some games. But to your point, it's just controlling what I can control. All I can control is who I am, how I treat people, the way I respond, and then just being as prepared as I can and going and trying to play the best I can. And today definitely wasn't my best, but I felt like I was prepared. I felt like I saw everything well, especially early in the game. And then later, like I said, got away from us. But to your question, there's only so much you can worry about that stuff. There'll be a time and a place where that stuff's addressed. I don't know exactly what that is. My involvement, I'm here to play ball and be the best quarterback I can and lead the team. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I think everything will work itself out.
You went to bat for James last week, getting him more carries. Is it frustrating, head-scratching, mind-numbing to look at it and go, okay, you had 6 for 4 yards and 2 of them came in, the final couple of minutes there. Like, he's still not getting involved, and he's clearly one of your better players.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff happened that game, so it's hard to keep track of exactly what the situations were, why we did this and that. Like I said, I need to watch it and really break it down. And that's something that, I'm sure we'll talk about, obviously, because run game's so important in this league as far as time of possession, field position, play action, all that stuff. It's really critical. So that's something we definitely got to look at, and obviously got to get James involved more. And I know some of those were different. You got runs called, and you have some relief throws and all that end up being some quick game throws if you got the numbers. So that happened a couple times, but yeah, that's something you're spot on. We got to look at it and can't let that happen. So.
You sound like you tried to hit the reset button a little bit this week, play more free, let it rip. I know it didn't work out for you today, but how much are you guys as an offense trying to say that, but then it's hard to actually do it?
Yeah, no, we are. We're trying to do that, and I really, obviously it's like you said, looking back, I don't think that's the reason for the turnovers today. A couple of them just bad breaks, and then 2 of them bad decisions by me. So you got to compartmentalize those and learn what you can from them. But I thought, pushing the ball downfield, we did a good job. I think the biggest thing was just consistency. We were actually, I don't know what the numbers were, pretty good on third down, especially the first 3 quarters. But it just seemed like we would get a first down or 2, and then the next set of downs we'd have to punt. So it's like we just couldn't get a few of those in a row or hit a big play and then continue that drive into the red zone. Like when we hit the one to Laquan, I think I checked it down for like 6, 7 yards, holding call brought us back, and then it might have been the next play where they dropped out and the linebacker picked me off trying to throw it inside. So that's something where we get down there and plus territory on the 30, and you got to be able to put a drive together to at least get a field goal, but you need to score a touchdown there to get us back in the game.
Is there a sense of almost looking for a needle in a haystack kind of thing and trying to find something that sparks this offense and gets things going?
Yeah, there's definitely that feeling, because you gotta do something. You gotta if something's not working, you gotta try to figure it out. But to the same point, you can't try to change everything, and I think that's where you got to be careful. You got to figure out what you're good at, and I don't. Obviously we don't know that right now, because you can see we're not playing well on offense. So that's something we need to work on, and need to have a lot of conversations and figure that out. But you can't try to change everything. But you're right. There's definitely some things that we need to consider to jumpstart the offense, because we gotta be better for the defense. They're playing pretty well and putting them in a bad spot.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
This player can unlock a donation to the Jaguars Foundation in support of a good cause. Visit jaguars.com/selfies for change to learn more about the impact of your photo and to locate a selfie kiosk at TIAA Bank Field. TIAA Bank is the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars, member FDIC.
Jaguars postgame continues. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Jaguars radio network. Final score 20-0. Titans over the Jaguars. First time the Jags have been shut out since 2009, and it's time now for the defensive play of the game presented by Kingfish Pest Control. The Jaguars had a few defensive plays today. The sacks were key, and we'll go with the one early when this was a 7-0 game. Damian Wilson had a sack today on the second drive for Tennessee. The Titans ended up missing a field goal on that drive. It was 7-0 at that point. So Damian Wilson's sack on the second drive of the game is the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. Kingfish Pest Control, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Let the pros tackle the pests in your home by going to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com. Next week, a battle of 2-11 teams. The Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of the 2 wins for the Texans is against the Jaguars back in week 1. That seems like 4 forevers ago, Fred, but here we go again. Division game next week, and this is one you got to play much better.
Yeah, certainly you want to play much better, especially having those guys here in Jacksonville at home. The Texans, they were up against the Seahawks early in the game, but they end up getting themselves beat by 20 as well. They're struggling at the running back position. They don't really have a guy that's going to, be a huge threat. So I think from a defensive play calling this week, we should see those guys excited that, they're going to be able to stop the run. So now what you want to do is hone in on the Texans' passing game. If you can get after them like you have how you got after Tannehill, throughout the game today, I think they should be able to win that one.
Yeah, and they're going with Davis Mills, obviously, Fred, their third-round rookie quarterback, and it was Tyrod Taylor who beat the Jags the first time. So they, a lot of speculation is Houston shutting it down basically for the year. Looked like they were at least competitive with what they had to work with today.
Yeah, they were competitive. I mean, he has here 67% completions, 300-plus yards right there, 93 QB rating. So right here, just looking at those numbers, you would, without seeing the actual game, you would say, okay, he's capable. I mean, I complete close to 70% of my balls. And then he has a threat, Brandon Cook. He big target guy, 11 targets, 8 catches, 100 yards. He killed us the first game. And he's way more than capable. But I think that'll be a pretty good matchup for Shaquille Griffin, and the rest just has to fall in line. But it starts with the guys up front. Mike, shutting it down, I don't know. Here you have two bad teams playing against each other. Shut it down this matchup. I don't know.
Well, we're losing Fred. The signal has gone away.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah, that's a good way to wrap it up tonight. Fred, we'll talk to you next week before the. Sorry, we lost you at the end there. We'll get back with Fred again next week. The final score, 20-0. Titans over the Jaguars. For those on our flagship station, 1010XL in Jacksonville, stick around. The Scoreboard Show is next. We'll get Bucky Brooks in and take your phone calls at 355-NFL1. We'll be here for the next hour here locally on our flagship station in Jacksonville, Florida. The Jaguars senior VP is Chad Johnson, VP of production Patrick Cavanaugh, executive producer Dave DeCandis, manager of radio Joe Fortunato. Tony Smith and Linda Fortunato are our producers. Brent Reber, Trent Padilla, and Gabby Dalton produce our video for Jaguars.com. For Fred Taylor, Mike Dempsey, and our entire crew, this is JP Shadrick saying good afternoon. Final score for the final time, thank goodness. Titans 20, Jaguars nothing on the Jaguars Radio Network.
It's time for the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and NFL Network analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks are ready for you to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by TIAA Bank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome in, Scoreboard Show. Final score, 20-0. Titans over the Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, NFL Network coming up shortly. Your calls at 355-NFL1, 355-6351. As we talked with Urban Meyer earlier on Jaguars Postgame on the network, I think I phrased it, there's been a lot of noise in the system this week, obviously. And then they come out today and don't score. And the offense can't move the football. They had 9 first downs. They had 8 rushing yards, the lowest in franchise history, and were shut out for the first time since 2009. Defense did what they could today after those quick change situations. They didn't give up much yardage on those, only a field goal off those 4 second-half interceptions to keep it as close as possible. But when the offense is playing like that, you don't have much of a chance.
No, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel to find something that's a positive for the Jags. And those, as you said, those quick change situations, the defense did stand up pretty well, JP. But when you give them 4 of those situations, it just is going to wear that side of the ball down, and you're not getting anything done. You're not sustaining drives. You're not even attempting to run the football anymore. At least you didn't today. For the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, again, the story remains the same, but just a little bit worse today.
Bucky Brooks, NFL Network analyst, joining us from Los Angeles. And good afternoon, Bucky. How about that one?
What's up, guys? What's happening?
Just recapping a 20-0 loss for the Jags. And, the average points per game since the bye week is now just over 9 points per game after the shutout today. That's the last 7 games. They can't score, and we're having some issues moving the ball and turned it over a bunch in the second half trying to press today.
Look, man, it wasn't a pretty performance. This kind of goes in line with the performances that we've seen since the bye week. Just had a tough time generating any offense, getting it going, doing anything positive, building upon any of the stuff that we thought that we would be able to build upon at a midway point. And it's been disappointing. And so, look, everyone's at fault, like players, coaches, all of that. And so need better execution, need better performance. I can't absolve like Trevor Lawrence for his role with the 4 turnovers, even though I can say that I don't necessarily believe that the plan was necessarily the best to get him going. But, I mean, it is what it is. He has to understand that he can't turn the ball over. And, you turn the ball over, it's a recipe for disaster when it comes to winning games in the league.
Bucky, this is a 10-point game at the half, so you're in the football game, right? No matter how much you struggle offensively in the first half. Yet, at the end of the day, the running backs got 6 carries. I mean, how do you explain that? The imbalance in play calling. Overall, you had 8 rushes for the team, and you had 40 pass attempts. How can that be?
I do not know. I mean, it's something that is really a source of concern, and it's been like a cause of concern the entire season. Like, why isn't the running game on track? Why haven't they been able to run the football consistently? Why isn't James Robinson featured? On and on and on and on. And so it's just been a theme where I don't know. I don't know if the Jaguars can't understand like who their best players are and how to get those guys going or any of that. But I mean, you talk about 8 rushing attempts in a game in which you know that you need to be able to run the football and take some of the pressure off your quarterback. I mean, it's problematic. Like, yeah, you're chasing points because you're down the entire day. But, I mean, Dem, you talked about it. It's a 10-point lead at half.
You don't have to panic.
I mean, 10-point deficit. Like, yeah, you don't have to panic in that situation. So it's, it's one of those things they have to look at.
All right, we've got plenty ahead, of course. 355 NFL 1. How much of that, Bucky, though, is offensive line play? I mean, they've had, it felt like when Trevor had to throw the ball, there was a lot of pressure on him up the middle today. And then in the running game, they didn't have a lot of looks at it. So how much of that is up front? Can you tell right away? Like, what's the story there?
Before we can even point to individual units and poor play, I think the identity, or what is the identity of the offense? I think it all stems from that part of it. Because if you have an identity of your team where you say, hey, we're the Jacksonville Jaguars, the one thing we're going to be known for is our brand. We're going to be a hard-nosed, physical running game, this and that, play action off of it. Well, then you make sure that you always take steps in every game to exhibit that because that's your calling card. It's in your DNA. I don't know what the identity is on offense. And without knowing what the identity is, it's hard to know what the plan is going to be. And I think that starts at the top. And so there's some kind of disconnect between what Coach Meyer is saying when he stands in front of the podium and says, hey, we need to run the ball. We're a hard-nosed running team. And whatever is being done, the execution between the lines, something is not being communicated, and they have to figure that part out because it doesn't look like a team that likes to run the football.
Bucky, we talked in the pregame with you briefly about how, with all the noise surrounding the team this week in particular, maybe it would be kind of the players need to rally for themselves. Didn't seem to see any evidence of that. I'm not saying they didn't give effort today, but sometimes in bad circumstances, you say it's us against the world, and I didn't see a whole lot of that out there today.
I mean, look, I thought they played hard considering what they were given. I think when you look at the defense, and this was a pretty inept Tennessee Titans offense. Like, they have struggled offensively since Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown have been out of the lineup. But defensively, you can't really complain when your defense only surrenders 263 yards. They were on the field for almost 70 plays, 69 plays. That's a ton. But, I mean, they only give up 3.8 yards per play. That's exactly the amount that the Jaguars were getting on offense. So it obviously wasn't an offensive shootout. And so defensively, I think they played hard. I just think offensively, it's not a matter of, like, effort. It's a matter of execution. And it's been the same old song from beginning to end this season.
All right, phone lines are open, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. We will be here until 6 o'clock. to take your calls. Recapping this one.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, JP Shadrick, that's Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and this is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are your heating and cooling costs extremely high? Do you want to extend the lifespan of your heating and cooling system investment? If so, Florida Home Air Conditioning is ready to help you save some money. Schedule your annual AC or heating system tune-up today with Florida Home Air Conditioning for only $59. Florida Home Air Conditioning, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 855-FLA-HOME.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Hey, Jaguars fans, tired of being late to the game because you're still stuck in traffic or circling the block looking for a place to park? Next time, join thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smart way to get to the stadium is on the JTA Game Day Express. Express shuttles run from 5 convenient locations, including the newest location at FSCJ downtown. Tickets start at just $8 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. The JTA Game Day Express. It's like winning before the game even starts.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Jaguars fans, whether you're at every game or watching from home, keep your finger on the pulse with the official Jacksonville Jaguars app, available on Android and iOS devices. You can stream live games, get breaking news, and manage your tickets all in one place. Plus, opt in to receive push notifications for the chance to win exclusive signed merch from your favorite players. There's no better time to download the official Jacksonville Jaguars app.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome into the Scoreboard Show, or welcome back. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks after a 20-0 loss for the Jaguars to the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee now 9-4 in first place in the AFC South, fighting for the number 1 seed in the AFC. The Jaguars have now dropped 5 in a row for the second time this season and fall to 2-11, and they'll face the 2-11 Houston Texans next week. We've got a week until then. The phone lines are open now. 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. What you got?
I would have been disappointed if Sakib didn't get in first, and I'm not disappointed, and let's welcome him in. Sakib, you're on the Scoreboard Show. How you doing, buddy?
And like I said last week, what I said was same thing, same old Jags. Can you just somebody explain? If we had 11 rookies on an offense, we should get at least 3 points. I never understand. We had so many guys all these years. We can at least score a field goal or a touchdown, something. This is just the most disappointing team I have ever watched since I've been a Jaguar fan. And it's not getting any better. It's not just about wins. It's just our coach doesn't care. Look at how he stands on the. It just nobody seems to care on our offense. The defense plays a little better. It sucks. It's just horrible, man. I'm tired, man.
Thanks for the call, Sakib. I think a lot of people are tired.
Can't blame you. Bucky, I don't know if you have anything to add or comment on that.
No, I mean, look, losing sucks. And when you start losing and this is the second 5-game losing streak that the Jaguars have had. It's tough. It wears on you. It zaps all your energy and your confidence and your enthusiasm for the game. It makes you kind of make these sad walks when you lose games, like we've seen Coach Meyer have to do at the end of it. It's awful. And it's one of those things where the only people that can turn it around are the people in the locker room. And so everyone has to kind of work towards righting the ship. And, we'll talk about the Houston Texans and, what it looks like for next week. But before you can even focus on the Texans, you have to get the things right internally. And that's getting everybody on the same page. And that's cleaning up all the stench from, the reports that came out over the weekend. That stuff has to be addressed. It has to be addressed clearly. He has to be transparent with the team, and they have to find a way to move forward. And that's everybody, coaches, players, front office members. Everybody has to move forward. And so it's a miserable environment when you lose games, and that's kind of what we're seeing, and it kind of reflects itself on the field.
I mean, to Sakib's point, the last time the Jags were shut out was 2009. They've undergone so many different changes in leadership and personnel, and they stripped the roster down in 2013, but they still scored every game. Today they did not. They were only in Tennessee territory on 2 drives today. Second drive, they got to the Tennessee 44-yard line. That was their last scrimmage play, and then they had to punt. And then they were at the Tennessee 36 on Trevor's second interception of the day in the second half. That's as deep as they got. Everything else ended in Jacksonville territory today.
Yeah, so why, if you're Tennessee, would you even take a chance on anything, right? I mean, if you can honestly, I think if teams feel like they can get to 10 or 14, it's over.
It's one of those, like, Titans were at midfield a couple times, Bucky, and here we're watching the game. We're like, hey, if this was a tighter game or something, maybe they go for it, to stay on the field. They're just punting the ball away. Like, okay, they're not going to do much.
Yeah, I think they could have done either. Honestly, I think they could have. You could have made the argument. You know what? We can go for this because if we don't make it, so what?
Either way,
I mean, what's going to happen? Nothing.
Let's just play it safe and punt it. And whatever.
Absolutely. All right, Sakib, thanks for getting us started. We appreciate you still caring enough to call in. Honestly, Cliff in San Marco is next here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Cliff.
Hey guys, Bucky, JP, Mike. Let me tell you, this team looks like the same team from last season. We know it's different players, but I mean, just like for the last, I would say the last few, post press conferences, players are saying, "Hey, we're getting better," but we can see in each game there's like losing series. They're losing the battle in the series, right? So which leads to like an ultimate loss of the game. And I mean, in this week's, like, it was a pathetic manner. But here's my question for you guys, and I'll take the answer, off the air. My question is this: as humans, we see 2 wins now, but again, they're saying they're getting better. But as far as we've come, like in 13 weeks now, what's the first thing that this team has to do to stink and get a scoring drive? Hey, thanks a lot. I'll take my answer off the question or off the air.
Thank you, Cliff. Bucky, before you jump in there, I don't know if they're even saying that anymore. What they're getting better at?
No, they didn't get better today.
Right? Like, I mean,
that offense.
The defense is giving some good effort, but I mean, look. You're a professional athlete. You should give good effort, in my opinion. So, Bucky, what would you try, if anything, new? I mean, I feel like we put you in this spot every week to come up with the impossible answer. Well, all right, Bucky,
we want some
big-time guy.
answers out of you, Bucky.
What can they do here? No, in all seriousness, to get the offense going.
The funny thing is, the first thing that I would do is I would sit in the room with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, the offensive coordinator, Darrell Bevell, Brian Schottenheimer, Urban Meyer. And I would get those 4 guys together, and I would ask them, Trevor, what are the things that you feel great about? Like, what are the 5 or 6 plays that you feel great about, knowing every part of the progression, knowing the reads? You feel confident when it comes to the huddle, into your headset, that you know exactly what to do and you can just let it rip. And then I would build out the plan off of those 4 or 5 concepts and use shifts and motions and all that other stuff so that Trevor Lawrence can play fast. I would then take that same approach and sit down with James Robinson and ask him, what are the things that you feel great about when we call? What's the best runs? What do you like? What are the things that make you feel like an all-pro when you have the ball in your hands when we call the play? And I would build the plan with those two guys in mind and try to make it where, hey, the one thing that we're going to do is as simple as playing a video game. I am going to put the ball in the hands of my best players over and over and over again with them doing the things that they feel great about. And I'm hoping that, man, playmakers will ultimately make plays. I think that's what you have to do. You have to build it around what your players do well and what they feel confident about, and not necessarily what you thought was going to be the best way to approach it going forward, because that certainly hasn't worked. So I would try and give the players a little more ownership in terms of how the offense plays, and then go from there.
Phone lines open, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. More of your calls. We are here until 6 o'clock. It is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com. The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
It's a force that can't be contained. Propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
It may be football season, but pests are in full force here in Jacksonville. That's why you need Kingfish Pest Control's $99 knockdown treatment. Kingfish Pest Control will safely eliminate spiders, ants, roaches, and more for just $99, backed by their 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned with thousands of A-plus customer reviews. They're hands down the best pest control company in Metro Jacksonville and a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Let the pros tackle the pest in your home. Go to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com.
Get in the holiday spirit by cheering on your Jacksonville Jaguars when they take on their division rival, the Houston Texans, on Sunday, December 19th. The Jags are ready for revenge when the Texans come to town, so don't miss out. Whether you have a super fan in the family or just want a fun outing with friends this holiday season, visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 to buy. Happy holidays and go Jags!
This season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for football watching. Just look for 20-ounce Pepsi products in the cooler door at your local Gate convenience store and see how you could win an exclusive VIP experience at the Jacksonville Zoo and an opportunity to eat lunch with a Jaguars player. Eat with a big cat. Courtesy of Pepsi and Gate. No purchase necessary. Visit Jaguars.com/zoo for official rules and details. Ends 12/31/21.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
We're back, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. Final score, Titans 20, Jaguars nothing. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, your calls. Mike.
I got to say, though, Bucky's answer was pretty good. I thought that was a very detailed answer for, what do you do with the offense, just heading into the break right there. I thought it was a good.
Well, I mean, the problem is that it's December 12th.
I can't take full credit for that, but that goes from a conversation that Mike Holmgren and Gil Haskell, his offense coordinator, a long time with the Packers, used to talk about. It's a players game. You have to make it about the players. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go to the players, particularly those that you view as your franchise players, and talk to them and ask them, hey, what works for you? Because we can draw it up and do all that stuff, but it doesn't suit their eye. They don't feel comfortable or confident in running it. It's not going to go anywhere. And so with Trevor Lawrence right now, the most important thing now is to preserve his confidence for next year. So let's see if we can take the next 4 games and build something that allows him to kind of launch his career in a positive way going into next year. And so it has to start with number 16 in mind.
All right, don't downplay yourself. I thought it was well done. Let's go to Robert on the west side at 355 NFL 1. Robert, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Hey, guys. I had a similar question to the last caller about Trevor's confidence. Clearly, he looks like a different player from Clemson to this year. Obviously, we're missing key pieces like DJ and Travis out there. But I don't understand how he will be able to remain confident after this debacle of a season in our coaching staff. Our receivers this preseason were touted as a good receiving core, and obviously you've seen on the field they have not been. So, and I feel like a lot of that, I don't like our receivers coach. I don't like most of what our coaching staff has done. So, without a change in coaching staff, do you see any difference in the play and between our offense next year and this year?
All right, Bucky, first crack at it.
That's a good one. I would expect there would be changes. Anytime you lose, like ultimately, there's some people that ultimately fall on the sword for the lack of performance and production. I would say that going back, and I would never disparage Sanjay Lal and the job that he does as a wide receiver coach, but I was perplexed a little bit about the release of Keenan McCardell as a wide receiver coach. And sometimes people like to bring in their guys that know the offensive system and those things. But I don't think it's not a coincidence that Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne and some of those players up in Minnesota are balling out of control with Keenan McCardell being able to kind of drop some nuggets. And we saw some of the development with some of the players there. That's neither here nor there, so we have to figure it out. I think the confidence thing for Trevor, it's going to be tough. Man, it's going to be tough because, to be honest, as a player, the one thing that you go to your coaches for are answers. And if the coaching staff is unable to give you answers to the test, it makes it hard for you to continue to believe in them. And those answers come about in tactics, changing strategies, switching up things to give yourself the best opportunity to be successful. So even if you don't win, you see a change in the output, the performance, the production, and those things. And I would say we haven't seen that. And so if you put Trevor Lawrence back in that room with the same coaches and the offense, not just Trevor, the entire offense with the same coaches, it is going to be hard for those guys to sit in there and listen all offseason for like, hey, this is going to be great. We're going to do this and do that. Yeah, they're not going to buy in. And so it's one of those things where, you have to look at everything and figure out how can I add some more juice to the coaching staff while also adding some more juice to the roster with better players.
Yeah, I can't imagine there are not going to be massive changes on the offensive side of the coaching staff. I mean, come on, right?
Bloodletting. I mean,
it will be. I mean, there can't be an offensive coach that feels safe about his job, if things don't drastically improve over the next 4 weeks, and I just don't see the path to them drastically improving. So we shall see. Robert, thank you for the call. We head up to Norfolk, Virginia. Kyrie has become a regular here on the Scoreboard Show. What's going on, Kyrie?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
All right.
Great.
Good. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I feel like Trevor's confidence is not shaken. I feel like he made some bad decisions, but all in all, I like the tempo, and I like how he was playing. He has confidence. I don't think his confidence is shaken, but that's not why I called. The reason why I called is because I don't know if you guys seen the Instagram post from Caleb Von Chason, and pretty much what he said was that pro athletes should go to, the fans' jobs and start booing them, and he made sure to disable the comments so people couldn't comment. And I just thought that was hilarious because what do you guys want us to cheer for? You want us to cheer for that performance that y'all just put on today, that type of performance. You guys come out there on and on again, game in and game out, and just laying eggs. And it's funny because, to me, I feel like us as Jaguar fans are the best fans in the world. Why? Because we don't even ask for a winning game. We just ask for, can you guys please have the game competitive in the fourth quarter to where we can stomach the entire game? That's all we ask for. Can you guys not please the game not be over in the first quarter? Is that just too much to ask? And and also Urban, I don't believe him. I think he's lying because he already lied a couple of times this year about those reports being false. I think they're true, and Shad Khan needs to do some true investigating on what's going on in there, and I'll take you guys' comments off there.
Hey, real quick, Kyrie, before you go, when was that IG post? When did that happen?
He posted it. If you guys want to go on there now, I think his name is Sacks for Guru or something like that. Mm-hmm. He posted it, I think, yesterday. So you guys can go look at it. It's on there. It's on his Instagram. Okay. And he disabled the comments because he knew he was going to be under fire when people seen that. So if you guys want to go check that out, please go check it out. But I think that's offensive as a fan, what we've been through.
Thanks for the call, Kyrie. I appreciate that. Bucky, social media has changed many things around life, first of all, in the NFL, certainly.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's more noise on social media now than ever before. And it's one of those things that as a player, you have to deal with. But Caleb Von Chasen has to quickly understand that to whom much is given, much is required. Your first round pick, the expectation is that you are a franchise player, that you come in and you change. You're part of the wave of changes that reverse the fortunes of the franchise. He has underperformed and certainly hasn't played at a level that you would expect given his draft status. And then when you look at the team and the team is losing and all of those things, there are a lot of people that are, spending hard-earned money to go to those games. And certainly they want to be entertained and they just want to support a team that is competitive. And I will say this, having been around and having played for and worked for other teams, man, I can't imagine what it would be like for him other places because the Jaguars fan base has been very forgiving and understanding, particularly considering the team has only had one winning season, I guess, in the last decade plus. I don't know how he expects fans to show up each and every week and be supportive when the team is getting beat to a pulp every week. And so he has to grow up. Everyone around the program has to grow up and understand, look, man, it's a performance and production-based business. You perform and you produce, then you get the spoils. If you don't, then you're going to get some of that other stuff to come your way.
Yeah, and I'm not very Instagram savvy whatsoever. What a surprise. But if it was posted, no, seriously, I'll find it on Twitter. But if it was posted yesterday, they were on the road last week. What a weird time for that to be posted. I could get it if it were the Sunday evening after a home game when you got booed out of the stadium or something like that, if that's the case. And I would argue that a first-round pick that now has 2 career sacks this deep into his second season probably shouldn't be focusing on other things right now, quite frankly.
I would agree. He probably needs to get his focus somewhere else,
Phone lines are open, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. We're here until 6 o'clock, recapping a Jaguars loss to the Tennessee Titans. Titans 20, Jaguars nothing. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Shopping Publix with delivery and curbside pickup powered by Instacart makes getting your groceries more convenient than ever. It's basically the best thing since sliced bread. which you can order from the Publix bakery. You can also get fresh meats and cheeses from the deli, delicious produce, and Publix premium ice cream, all without having to leave your couch or car. Orders are available in as little as 2 hours. Prices vary from in-store. Fees, tips, and taxes may apply. Subject to terms and availability. Visit Publix.com/shop. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Are you tired of not seeing clearly? As the official eye care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Florida Eye Specialists offers the safest, most effective technology to regain control of your sight. With 9 locations across Northeast Florida, our dedicated doctors have provided premier eye care to the community for more than 20 years. Call 904-564-2020 or visit FloridaEyeSpecialists.com to book an appointment with Jacksonville's most trusted eye care providers today.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back to Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks. 20-0. The Titans over the Jaguars in Week 14. The Jags face the Texans next week here at TIAA Bank Field. 355-NFL-1, 355-6351 the number, and we've got the lines lit up.
Yes, we do. Let's head out to the west side. William is next on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, William.
How you guys doing today, man?
Hey, man.
All right.
I really would ask you guys a question, but I don't need anyone to shoot me up with a real hope. So I'm just going to make these two statements.
Okay.
The first statement, I have officially made Meyer the new Hugh Douglas of Jaguar football. He gets to rob us and get paid for nothing. So I want him to be the new Hugh Douglas. Hugh used to hold that with pride. It's not Urban Meyer. This guy is here. He's here as a facial coach. That's it. They're just using his face, because the Urban Meyer I know, and I'm a Florida State fan. The Urban Meyer I know, he would know everything going on in the operation of the football team. I know that. He gave me fears when we had to play those guys back in the day. But no. This guy here is just, he's freaking clapping his hands for first down on the sideline. No, that ain't the Urban Meyer I know. And he's letting the coaches, he's letting the prisoners run the asylum. Excuse my language on saying that. I'm not calling the Jaguars no prisoners or anything. It's just a way of speech, how they say it. No, this is not it. My second thing, I just wanted to cry out to my son and all the kids around his age. I've been taking my son to these games for over 17 years. I've been a fan since birth, since they've been here. I've been a fan. And my son is slowly, gingerly going over to Tampa Bay. I'm crying out to all the young kids, just give us a chance. We're going to get this right. Man, I love the show, man. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call.
All right, William.
Appreciate that. Leonard Fournette had a touchdown earlier, by the way. Bucky, that's the way it is these days.
I mean, it is the way that it is. I do think that's a good observation for someone who has seen Coach Meyer, particularly down in Florida, and the success that they had with the Gators. It does seem odd that he doesn't appear to know some of the things that are going on. And not only watching him at Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, and Ohio State, he always seemed to be kind of in the center of the action. And so it is odd that he is unaware of some of the things that he says that he didn't know what was going on. And so in the offseason, I would say that one of the things that probably needs to be addressed is his involvement when it comes to all of the teams. I heard in the press conference he talked about spending more time with the defense because the defense was switching from more man-centric teams to being a little more zone-based. I would contend that, man, the offense has struggled. The offense has struggled the entire year. His background comes from an offensive background and expertise. You would like to think that he would spend more time there, particularly when you have a young franchise quarterback that was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Typically, you want to make sure that that player gets it right. And so I just believe it's one of the many things that he'll have to do and figure out how to kind of split his time to put himself in the best position to make the biggest impact when it comes to the performance of the team.
All right, thank you, William. We go to Orange Park next. Steve is next up on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Steve.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
What's
I
up,
guess for not, well, as you know, not much at this point. For me, I'll start off by saying I've been an Urban Meyer guy because if the team hires him, I figure that Shad knows what he's doing. But in the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to wonder. For me, it's not about losing as much as just being competitive. Kind of piggybacking off what one of the last callers said. I guess to put it, Urban definitely got issues. There seems to be issues anyway with what I can tell. If anybody remembers him saying, if we don't have the best of something, why don't we? I remember that more than about anything he said when he first came here. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it.
Oh, yeah.
But
absolutely.
it seems like we don't have the best of anything right now. I don't feel like. I don't know. I guess I'll just take you guys off. It seems like us fans that live and die by Jacksonville, these players aren't from Jacksonville, and the coaches aren't from Jacksonville. None of these people are from here. So it hits us harder than those guys. It seems anyway. Just listen to the callers. Anyway, I'll take your comments off. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it, Steve.
I mean, fans are the ones that's kind of go out there and wear it with other fans going after them. Now, yeah, I mean it's a struggle, Bucky, man. I mean, there's not much room to argue with some other fan bases right now.
I mean, there's not a lot to really say. It's been tough. I think the observation is critical of Coach Meyer and maybe the body language and some of the stuff that he exhibits on the field. The first thing that you look for in the leader is how does he respond? How does he handle these situations? How does the team see the guy who is in charge handle these situations? How does he handle losses? How does he handle the adversity that we're currently mired in? And, if the head coach shows a steely determination, is undaunted by the challenge of turning this thing around, then they're going to kind of gravitate to him and exhibit some of those qualities that he consistently shows. But if it looks like things aren't going well and, your shoulders are slumped and your head are down and you're walking in slowly and all that other stuff, man, it's hard to kind of pick it up and say, hey, don't worry about this. Coach is going to figure it out. And so, it's one of those things where when you're losing, everything is kind of subject to scrutiny and criticism. But I would say, he just has to be mindful of the guys that he's leading. He has to make sure that he kind of fakes it till he makes it in terms of leading them and inspiring them with the confidence of knowing that, hey, at some point I'll figure this thing out, we'll get it turned around.
All right, thank you, Steve, for the call as we get our man who's you don't know him as well yet, Bucky, but we're getting to know him here locally a little bit better. A Holiday is up next on the Scoreboard Show. Holiday, how are you?
Man, you know what? JP, Mike, Bucky, look, man, thanks to Football God that we got rewind and rerun of old films I could watch through the weekdays, man, of the Jaguars when they had some heart, man. First of all, I'm going to get a shout-out to the defense. 6 minutes left in the third quarter, and we go down 10-0. They gave all the Gatorade juice. I'm fine with the defense. Just add some more parts. That's good. My problem is Coach Meyer Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I mean, is he on planet Pluto? I mean, he look, man. Coach ain't right, man. Look at man, Coach. Something wrong with Coach, man. I don't know if painkillers or what, man. Coach Meyer is not. He gone, man. He football shell shock. I think the bottom line is, man, T. Law is still running right now in Tennessee for his life like a squirrel, just running, man. Number 78, 68, 74. I got one thing I'm going to say because I'm going to hold it for tomorrow. But the whole offense, the whole front office from the GM to the coaching staff, Sean Khan, please just listen. You need to check your whole coaching staff on the offensive side. I got no problem with defense. Check the offense. Check out Urban Meyer. Check his medical staff. Check everything because something is wrong with the whole offense. And the GM, we're going to have a change. We're going to have big changes this year. Major changes. So T-Law, just look here, man. Just keep running. Just keep running for your life, man, because you got no offensive line. Everything on offense will be revamped. Everything must go, man. Everything. That whole thing is ugly, man. If they had a number 0-0 score, they'll be Jacksonville. And next week, the toilet bowl, we lost the first round of the toilet bowl, and guess who at the bottom of the toilet? The Jaguars, the Jaguars. Man, I am disgusted, man. Let me go get my Maxwell House coffee, man. I got to get some more coffee, man. Talk to y'all tomorrow.
All right, Holiday.
Might be a little something in that. But, yeah, in that Maxwell House coffee tonight.
Just good old American caffeine, JP.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to what we were just talking about a few minutes ago, though. I think the point he's making, just Urban Meyer seems like he's not the same guy. Like, where is this guy? And, look, I get it. If you can't be an effective human being living on that razor's edge all the time, and it's not good for your health, but is that a huge part of the formula that made him a successful head coach, Bucky? Can he be successful without being the guy who was always redlining it, in terms of his intensity? I don't know the answer to that.
No, I don't think that's part of the issue. I mean, let's have a real honest conversation. I think he's being a bit of a baby and whining and pouting and those things because it's not going his way. And so I think some of what we see is kind of some of the behaviors that you see from coaches when they can't understand, like, I cannot believe that I'm losing. And I think rather than kind of succumb and kind of ball up and curl up into the fetal position, I think you got to figure out a way to fight. And I think he has to inspire the team to fight. He can talk about the locker room being rock steady and all of those things, but at some point, as the leader of the team, man, you got to exude the confidence that we're going to get this thing figured out. We can give you the best plan to figure it out, and you have to go forward from there. And it cannot be some of the stuff that we're hearing where, we're blaming, complaining, and defending some of those issues. Like, you got to be accountable, because he always talks about accountability. Be accountability to performance and say that, hey, we're going to figure it out. And if it's not changing with the older players, the one thing that I think Jaguars fans could get excited about, if they felt like they were just a bunch of young players that were on the field trying to get experience that was going to set them up for next year, that would be something. But we're not even seeing that. So to me, man, I don't know. I'm at a loss for what I'm seeing, because I certainly didn't expect it to look like this. Regardless of the wins and losses, I thought it would look different based on all the things that we had heard about him and from him leading up to the season.
All right, we'll take our final timeout. We'll return with some final thoughts. There aren't many left, I don't think. 20-0 was the final score. Titans over the Jaguars in Week 14. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
This season, Make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for football watching. Just look for 20-ounce Pepsi products in the cooler door at your local Gate convenience store and see how you could win an exclusive VIP experience at the Jacksonville Zoo and an opportunity to eat lunch with a Jaguars player. Eat with a big cat. Courtesy of Pepsi and Gate. No purchase necessary. Visit jaguars.com/zoo for official rules and details. Ends 12/31/21.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk. Checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk. Checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
It's a force that can't be contained. Propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
Introducing Ultimate Jags, the free-to-play next-level fantasy football game. Open packs, collect players, build your roster, and pick your weekly lineup. Scratch and claw your way up the leaderboard and compete against Jags fans for fantastic prizes. Download Ultimate Jags now from the App Store and Google Play and get ready to win.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
We're back, about 5 minutes left. If you didn't get in here, the fifth quarter is coming up next. We've got a couple more calls, though, Mike. What you got?
I do. I just want to point out that Buffalo may be trying to top Jacksonville today as with 40 seconds left in the first half, they have 0 rushes by a running back so far. And that has apparently not happened in like
Josh Allen's
30
running
years.
like a deer down the sideline right now,
so
why would he hand it off?
I understand. I'm just saying.
He just ran for like 30 yards.
It's like 15. Simmer down there.
Unbelievable.
All right, let's go out to 355 NFL 1. Tunde in Denver next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Tunde.
Oh, man. How's it going, fellas?
Oh, we're hanging in there.
You saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all hanging by a real skinny thread.
No doubt. What's up?
So I love Bucky's answer earlier in regards to some ways the offense going. First thing is, what do you think about potentially taking the Aaron Rodgers route and throwing some screens earlier in the game? Like, do we have the personnel and execution to do that, to take a Marvin Jones or a Treadwell and just get those guys a couple quick, easy receptions out in space, try to make something happen? 2, how do we fix Laviska? Because clearly he is broken right now. And 3, if the answer is he only works if we have speed on the outside, I mean, what can we do? Do we need to host some type of, like, late-season tryouts? I mean, I know they got a whole lot of speed in Florida. So, can we just – y'all come in, you run a sub 4.40, you can track and catch the deep ball, you on the team. Can we do something like that?
We got to stop that right here. We're not doing open tryouts.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Why not AJP? Damn, you guys can get out there and line up.
You got like 17 wide receivers on the practice squad. Bring one up if you want to, man. I mean, come on.
Open tryouts.
Just have like a little mini combine right out there at TI.
Straight off the intramural field. Let's go.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable.
That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Anything you want to seriously respond to with that?
Oh, my God.
Anything in terms of screen passes or anything, Bucky?
I don't think Bucky
he's done.
remembered
He's
that
done.
part.
What's his
I think we talked about all the different things. We can try screen passes and double reverses and all kinds of other stuff, but the execution has to be there. Like typically you want to do less, not more. See if you can get you guys to execute a small package of plays as opposed to a larger scale menu, just to try and build some confidence. And then you just try and take it drive by drive. But I mean, it's hard because like they see it, man, you haven't put up a lot of points in a long time. It's tough. It's tough sledding. And so you go back to the drawing board each and every week, but with each loss and each poor performance offensively, look, man, those words ring hollow at the front of the room when the coach is talking about, hey, this plan is going to give us the best plan to put X amount of points up on the board.
All right, one last one today. That is Jim on the no. Oh, never mind. You know what?
Oh, wow.
I think Jim was going to suggest tryouts, and Tunde stole his thunder. So that might have been it right there.
It's a fitting way to wrap up this show.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And this day for the Jaguars, 20-0, Bucky. 2-11 battle next week. The Houston Texans are coming to town. Are you ready, Bucky?
Hey, look, just trying to focus on being 1-0 this week. At least this is a game that everyone views as a winnable game. And so now you have to find a way to win it, even though we lost to the Texans at the beginning of the year, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Let me add, Bucky, happy 40th birthday to JP Shadrick over here.
Wow.
Oh, my
man
God.
Shadrick
Happy
turned
birthday.
40 today.
Yes, I did.
Woo, baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's done.
gee,
It's over
man,
for you, bud.
Got shut out on your
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
That's not a good thing. Well, hopefully, man, there's a cake in your future. Hope there are a lot of candles and some fun. Have some
Bourbon.
festivities.
There's
If
going to be
I'd
something
known
more than a
about
cake.
friends,
I got
something.
news for you, Bucky.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a cake.
Yeah, I mean, I would say something. I didn't want to get in trouble, but maybe something can pop out of that cake later too.
Wow.
now.
Okay then. On that note, we'll
Party at
call it a night. Bucky, we'll talk to you this week.
Hey, man, let's do it. We have fun, guys.
Bucky Brooks out of here, NFL Network analyst. Thank you for that. Very nice.
Happy birthday, bro.
Appreciate
All
it.
seriousness.
Thanks to our entire crew, everybody, the Fortunato clan, the lady on the phone, Gabby Dalton, Sean, Tony Smith. For Mike Dempsey and Bucky Brooks, I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening. Hang with it. 20-0 final score. Titans over the Jaguars, and 4 more to go in the regular season. The Texans come to town next week. If you didn't get in here, as we said, the 5th quarter is coming up next. Hacker and crew will take you the rest of the way. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.